All right, so where's the start button?
I'll give you $1,000 right now if you can find the start button.
What's like the fuel burn on it?
Well, this is about 70 gallons an hour. If you're just kind of cruising, you can burn a heck of a lot more fuel than that. You know, you're burning about $600, $700 worth of fuel an hour.
Hey guys, B-Snap here. I'm here with Nick, and he's got this awesome helicopter behind us.
This is a UH-34D Sikorsky. The Marine Corps used it for what we affectionately call beans, bullets, and band-aids. So moving people, moving parts, moving ammo, medevac, casevac.
I've heard you've purchased this helicopter. Why did you buy such a helicopter?
Well, I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps as a helicopter pilot, and I was lucky enough to be in the squadron, the Ugly Angels, that flew this helicopter in Vietnam. This helicopter has a great history, so this is purely a flying memorial. The aircraft is dedicated to these 33 Marines, if you can see here on this sandwich board and on that plaque. 33 Marines that died from 1962 to 1969 in this squadron. This is just a flying memorial, so there really isn't any commercial use for it. It's just take it to air shows, reunions, festivals, but education is the main goal as a flying memorial.
How do we get up into this helicopter?
Go ahead. Yep. Right foot. Yep. Grab your handhold above. Yep. Now swing your leg up and in. Your right one. Yep. Swing your right leg. Yep. Up and in. There you go. And you're in.
God, that needs to be, you need to be talented for that. All right, so where's the start button?
I'll give you $1,000 right now if you can find the start button.
How many other helicopters of this kind are out there? How many are flying?
So there's probably somewhere between 20, maybe 22 of them that are still flying in the United States. In the 70s, they converted a lot of them to twin turbine engines with PT6s up front. And then there's about a dozen, or maybe about 8 or 10 actually, that still have the piston engine in it. This is the only one that I know of in the United States that has documented combat history. It served from 1965 to 1968. It's got 54 bullet holes in it. Had an engine failure, and it had actually been externally lifted out of a zone in what I flew in the Marine Corps, the CH-53. And then at the end of its service in 1968, the tail had been damaged severely from a rocket attack. So it did 3 years in country, and then they sent it to Atsugi, Japan, where they rebuilt it. And then by that time, turbine engines had become more prolific, and this thing had just kind of almost been archived. My dad flew this helicopter, and the serial number right there, 148783. It's in his logbook 11 times. So now it's my great honor to fly it and teach and memorialize these 33 guys.
So what sort of uses do these helicopters have? Because you said they were doing lifting with it.
It's a great lifter. I mean, this thing has a max gross weight of 13,000 pounds. Empty, it weighs about 7,500. So depending on how much fuel you put in it, you can lift about 5,000 pounds. And that's what my father did when he got out of the Marine Corps. He used it for a heavy lift machine. And then, like I said, they put turbine engines in them, and it's even, you know, the thrust to weight ratio is even better. Just a fantastic lifting machine. I think there's 3 or 4 companies in the United States that use them for heavy lift. So that's predominantly what it is. There's a guy in Brewster, Washington, where my dad's old helicopter is. He uses these for drying cherries.
Drying cherries?
Drying cherries. They hover around. They hover around about 75, 80 feet, and they blow the morning dew or the rain off the cherries before the cherries split. Or yeah, so
really
they found that this is one of the best ways with this massive 56-foot rotor diameter to just kind of softly knock that water off.
So you mentioned efficiency, and it's obviously a radial engine, so it can't be that efficient. What's like the fuel burn on it?
Well, this is about 70 gallons an hour. If you're just kind of cruising.
Yeah.
You can burn a heck of a lot more fuel than that, and then coincidentally, you're going to also burn more oil. So you can imagine right now, avgas is somewhere $6, $7, $8 a gallon. You know, you're burning about $600, $700 worth of fuel an hour, and 120 weight oil, if you can find it, it's kind of hard to find right now. It's about 60, 70 bucks a gallon. So your operating costs are pretty expensive in this. Not to mention it's 1,820 cubic inches, 1,500 horsepower. You can put 2 turbine engines in it, which are like crazy more expensive.
Yeah.
PT6s, but the power to weight ratio is significantly better.
Yeah. And what about the cruise speed? Because it doesn't look like that much of an aerodynamic design.
It's essentially flying a barn door in the sky. Typically 80 to 85 knots is kind of what I fly. I don't pull a whole lot of manifold pressure just because of the wear and tear on the motor, and again, you're just burning more oil and burning more fuel. You can fly a lot faster if you want. but you literally can watch the gas gauge just go down.
And what about the service? Because I know Robinson, they're done by sort of hours, and like Bell, it's done by parts life. How do you service a massive helicopter?
I mean, it's the same thing. Everything has a service life component. The engine itself is recommended 600 hours, but I mean, as long as it's not producing metal, you can keep flying it and it's producing good power. But I mean, every component on here, dynamic component, you have to really keep track of all the hours.
All right, so safety in helicopters, and especially I'm sure in the armed forces, it's a big key factor. Does this have all the safety features of a new age sort of helicopter? Like, can it auto rotate?
It can auto rotate, but you really have to be careful of the RPM control in this. It's an incredibly efficient rotor head, fully articulating head, so you know it goes left, right, up, down, the whole 9 yards. But it'll build RPMs very, very quickly, so you have to manage them, and it's very forgiving. But managing the engine and the rotor system somewhat independently, and then also together, you really have to maintain pretty good management of the RPMs on this thing.
So how do you learn to fly this helicopter? Because you said there's only like 10 to 20 still flying. I can't imagine it'll be easy.
Well, there's other aircraft that are similar in capabilities, like the Enstrom is somewhat similar to this for managing RPM control. So you've got to manage it all just with your cyclic and then or your collective and then up and down. You know, it's just there's a management style that you've got to learn, and then obviously you got to watch the gauges, but you also got to listen. It's more than just seeing what you see on the instruments. You got to listen to this aircraft.
So it's not really a get in and fly sort of helicopter.
No. You know, the modern aircraft are going to have, you know, some kind of governor or a FADEC or something that'll protect you from overspeeding it. Not this. You can start it, run it wide open, and blow it open if you want.
Wow. And it also, I noticed it has really big wheels, and it's not like just skids. Why does it need wheels?
It was designed for use on the aircraft carrier, right? So you can fold all the blades. But skids for something like this is somewhat unuseful. You really need the ability to get moving forward if you're really heavy. So you can roll it and do a rolling takeoff or a rolling landing and not use as much power.
So you can almost come in like an airplane.
You absolutely can. And it's a great way to kind of cheat the power requirement rather than just taking off like a conventional helicopter. You can roll it off and reduce your power requirement. And not put so much strain on the motor.
Yeah, and that'll be like less fuel, less wear and tear on the engine, everything.
For sure.
So you've given me your card here, and it says help keep the YL-37 flying.
Yeah.
What is this? How can we help you keep this thing flying?
Well, as you can imagine, it's incredibly expensive. It's very difficult to find parts for this thing. I mean, just the fuel and the insurance alone is astronomical. We have a 501c3, the Ugly Angel Memorial Foundation. We have a website you can go to. It's www.yl-37.org. Any donations you could have are tax deductible, but it takes a lot to keep this old girl going. So anything we can do would be great, because we really need to preserve these pieces of history. And to my knowledge, there's very, very, very few of these. So
make sure you go check them out. This is an awesome helicopter. Help keep it flying. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.